Welcome to this special year-end edition of the Weekday Report. I'm Liz Snyder. It's a tradition here at the Kenosha News for staff to look back at the previous year and cast ballots for the most significant stories we covered. Here's a look at our top 10 stories of 2013. Files on 10 priests with ties to Kenosha County were among the thousands of sexual abuse records that the Archdiocese of Milwaukee released in July. 3 late priests who served locally, George Noodling, William Effinger, and Harold Herbst, were considered 3 of the most egregious offenders. 2 men were the victims of a double homicide in a Kenosha backyard in April. 20-year-old Zachary Hernandez and 23-year-old Carlos Garcia were killed on the afternoon of April 5th in Hernandez's backyard in the 5100 block of 25th Avenue. The shooting happened after what a police officer described as a robbery gone bad. Darshan Frizon of Kenosha and Daquan Young of Chicago are set to stand trial in February for first-degree intentional homicide. A third suspect, Kenosha resident Carlos Hamilton, is also charged with homicide. Plans to expand Kenosha's streetcar system remain on track, but stuck in the station as 2013 comes to an end. Mayor Keith Bosman had urged the City Council to support a north-south loop from Library Park to Harborside. But in October, aldermen voted to study and price 3 possible routes, including a plan by Alderman Steve Bostrom to send service toward Carthage College. The council won't vote on a final route until the studies are done sometime in 2014. The community rallied around horses and other animals that were found in horrible conditions at a Pleasant Prairie farm in April. David and Paula White gave up ownership of the 75 animals seized from their farm after the village sued them over the cost of the animals' care. Investigators said the 23 horses found on the farm were starving and that live horses were being kept in stalls next to the corpses of others. In addition to their civil battle with the village, the Whites face criminal charges for mistreatment of animals. We'll be back with more after this. Simmons Field was renovated in 2013 as it unveiled its new tenant, the Kenosha Kingfish. The Northwoods League baseball team will begin play in late May 2014. The team's Madison-based owners unveiled the Kingfish name at a community open house in November. A Dane County Circuit judge's ruling in October began an unexpected series of events in the Kenosha Unified School District. Amid wrangling about open meetings law and discord between the board's majority and minority factions, new contracts were approved on November 15th. A lawsuit followed from 2 conservative groups arguing that the contracts violate Act 10. That case remained open at year's end. The landscape of Central City Kenosha changed significantly in March when the last bricks of the Chrysler engine plant fell to the wrecker's ball. Demolition of the plant began in December 2012 and ended on March 19th. The ultimate final use of the 109-acre property has yet to be decided. While the city said goodbye to an old, major employer, it welcomed a new one in 2013. Amazon.com formally announced plans in November to build a 1.5 million square foot fulfillment center that's expected to employ more than 1,000 full-time workers. Later, in December, Amazon announced it would also build a second facility, adding another 575 jobs. The Kenosha Unified School District will begin 2014 looking for a new leader. After a tumultuous 3 years, Superintendent Michelle Hancock announced her retirement on November 15th. As part of a deal that the school board approved unanimously, Hancock will receive a $500,000 payout, including her salary through the end of her contract in June 2015. The school board in December appointed a familiar face, former Superintendent Joe Mangi, to come out of retirement on an interim basis through the end of the school year. Our number 1 story of the year is up next, after this. The biggest story of the year still doesn't have a proper ending. In August, the federal government approved the Menominee Nation's plan to build an $808 million casino and entertainment complex in Kenosha. That long-awaited sign-off sent the matter to Governor Scott Walker, who has the final say. Walker had laid out difficult criteria for approval, including consensus of all the state's tribes, something that seemed insurmountable as the Forest County Potawatomi remained strongly opposed to the Kenosha development. But his decision became more complicated in October when Hard Rock International signed on as the project's developer and manager. Recently, an aide to Walker said a decision may not come until after the November 2014 election. That's a quick look at our top stories of the year. For more details, plus other stories that didn't crack our top 10, the Reader's Choice Top 10, and a glimpse of our photo staff's highlights of the year, check out the Year in Review section that appears in Tuesday's Kenosha News. Have a Happy New Year. I'm Liz Snyder with the Weekday Report.